Once time ago, there was a boy and a girl and whoever else who had many experiences in their life. It was about 2 o'clock on a Monday morning, 2 p.m. in the morning, and at the park, and along came a girl named Ishmael, as she walked onto the screen as you see now. She walked with a slight limp in the left leg. She was challenged in walking. Her walking was challenged in many ways. She sat down, she rose again. She was much tired of her walk. She rose again and sat down once more. She got up again and said, "Oh no, I've hurt my ankle, I must sit down."
Oh no, I've hurt my ankle, I must sit down.
She was sitting there in the park. It was almost dark, but it was already dark because it was 3 in the morning. A boy named Ericy, was coming along on the monkey bars at the park. He was so excited to come across Ishmael in the park. He said, "I've seen Ishmael in the park.
I've seen Ishmael in the park.
I must help her out with her ankle problems."
Yeah, I must help her out with her ankle problems.
"What is wrong with your ankle?" he said.
What's wrong with your ankle?
She said, "Ouch.
Ouch.
I have many ankle problems and walking tribulations."
I have many ankle problems and walking tribulations.
She arose and she walked off the screen, singing, "You Make Me Feel Like Dancing." She doesn't know the song. She walks off. Later on in the day, at the movies, a boy named Thurgood Marshall enters. He asked the man at the counter, who is invisible, "How many dollars for 5 tickets?"
How many dollars for 5 tickets?
He said, "Many dollars. Many dollars." He takes the money and buys the tickets. He goes into the theater and walks off into the lake a little bit and turns around, but goes into the lake again and goes into the lake, some more, up to his kneecaps. He walks up to his kneecaps in the lake, and then you go push him in. And everyone stands around. A boy comes up behind him. Any boy that wants to, and says, "How are you doing?"
How are you doing today?
And he says, "I'm in the lake, can't you see?"
I am in the lake. Can you not see?
"I have lake face.
Something.
I have lake face
I
disease.
have lake face disease.
Watch out for my lake face."
Watch out for my lake face.
They stand there still, because I cannot think of anything else to say for them. The boy with the red shirt, who is deaf, he has no hearing goodness at all. He can't hear. He comes to Ethan and says, "Don't worry about talking to me.
Don't worry about talking to me,
I can't hear you.
because I can't hear you.
I'm deaf as a doorknob."
I'm deaf as a doorknob.
The deaf man takes out his phone, attempts to make a phone call. Oh, at once he realizes, he stops and stares at the camera. "I can't hear who I'm talking to. What's the point?"
I can't hear what I'm talking to.
"What's the point?" he says.
What's the point?
He puts the phone back in his pocket, takes his shoes off,
No, he doesn't.
takes his shoes off, takes his shoes off.
I'm deaf. I can't take my shoes off.
The deaf man pleaded for his life because
Please don't make me take my shoes off.
the girl walks in with the itty bitty waist and says, "I know you can't hear me,
I know you can't hear me.
but that's horrible for you to understand.
That's horrible for you to understand.
I have no legs." She falls on the ground realizing she has no legs. Her legs have been snatched away by the leg snatching man from Texas. Another boy comes along named Iak, ayak, Ahmadad. He says, Eleanayata. Eleanaya kumundoya like Kamandola Kayati Melokondo. He goes to the man in the river lake part. And this concludes the part of the first part of the movie that's going to have a second part after the first part. Now, we've come to the time in the story where the lake has dried up, even though to our left, the lake is still there, but we have just moved. So I lied. We are now by the truck that has many things on it that have to do with other stuff. The deaf man sits on the truck, Indian style, and says, this truck is the best for Indian style sitting.
The truck is the best for Indian style sitting.
As the boy with the beard way beyond his age walks on, turns around to the camera and says, this must be where I parked my car.
This must be where I parked my car.
And then he looks around aimlessly and says, I don't drive a car.
I don't drive a car.
And walks off the scene. And as she walks onto the scene, she looks at the camera and says, I've never felt like this in my life.
I've never felt like this in my life.
Neither have I.
Neither have I.
She sits down on the left tire of the truck. Trailer. Sort of. She says, these are the days of our lives.
These are the days of our lives.
I love Grey's Anatomy.
I love Grey's Anatomy.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Look over there.
Look over there.
Nothing's there.
There isn't anything there.
The deaf man says, huh? She says, can you not hear?
Can you not hear?
He says, I know what you say.
I can read lips.
No, I can't.
No, I can't.
I'm sorry for lying to you.
I am a liar.
He stands up fast, as quickly as a cat. Sits back down, stands up fast. Walks off the trailer and says, oh no, I love the trailer. Let's go back to the trailer.
I love the trailer. I'm going to go back.
The boy walks in, huge Nebraska fan. Tall as a goat. Quick as an ox. He says, I love Joe Paterno.
I love Joe Paterno.
I wish he was the coach of my team.
I wish he was the coach of my team.
The boy says, if only I was good enough to succeed at college basketball,
If only I was good enough to succeed at college basketball,
I would be friends with the deaf man.
I would be friends with the deaf man.
He sits down to tie his flip-flop. When he succeeded, he gets up and says, I'm so happy.
I am so happy.
I've never felt like this before either.
I've never felt like this before either.
Can you see it?
Can you see it?
I love it.
I love it.
I love it all.
I love it all.
I like to play basketball.
I love to play basketball.
He runs over to the deaf man. He says to the deaf man, oh. The deaf man understands and responds. They walk off the scene holding hands. The lady here we see now on the screen says, yes.
Yes.
I think yellow dresses are the best.
Yellow dresses are the best.
She stands up just to sit down again. Says, oh, I've lost my pin.
I've lost my pin.
And now, our great story comes to an end. Goodbye.